Hello everyone, this is Tim, and I want to give a video about my second impressions of Skype. So, there were a few kinks the first time I played, and I kind of wanted to try to improve upon them and kind of move in the right direction, I guess. We had an instant messenger program set up at the same time, and that seemed to help a lot. Whenever I would say something that would get garbled, or if there was something that I said that got kind of misunderstood, maybe they couldn't understand what I was actually saying, I would just text it to them, just type out what I did, or we also kind of used that as a sort of like raise your hand kind of moment, like, hey, I want to say something or I want to do something, especially if the players that are actually there at the location um, don't tend to give me an opening. I don't really want to fight over them, especially because it just doesn't really work with all the audio at the same time. So that seemed to work pretty well. We also kind of scrapped the video, which for me worked better. There was less. The audio seemed to stream a lot faster, and there were less times when I couldn't hear what was going on. So that was nice. But overall, it was a fun experience. We got more involved with the role playing side of things. I don't know. It's kind of nice not having to worry about miniatures, and we're playing, like I said, AD&D Second Edition, and we're playing in a rather rules light fashion, and it's been a lot of fun so far. But some of the suggestions that you guys made on the last video were basically to ditch Skype and try something called Mumble. I'm not really that familiar with Mumble, but there were like 3 or 4 suggestions for it, and it seems to be that the people that used to play via Skype are now playing with Mumble. So I'll have to look into that. I don't know much about it at all, but that was a big suggestion that people made, and I just want to say that Skype seems to be really interesting for the fact that if you don't have a face-to-face group, you can get more actual role playing involved, and actually using your voice. I've played in a lot of play-by-post games. I played in a play-by-email campaign. I've never done instant messenger campaign, but there were a few suggestions for me, even a few invitations to join some games, and basically it comes down to that I don't have all that much free time. YouTube actually takes up a good amount of my time now. Watching everyone else's channels and making my own videos has become just a second hobby in and of itself. So I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I enjoy interacting with all you guys and girls. There's a few girls actually, and I don't know. It's just been a good time. But I think Skype gaming is a viable option. I wasn't really sure at first, and it still isn't as good as a face-to-face game. There are still some moments when you have to fight technology to get things to work. But if you try to think outside the box and like instant messenger programs or texting on cell phones if things aren't working, it seems to work out pretty well. Especially if the GM takes time out to specifically ask each player what their character is doing. But that kind of goes with any game. Try to let your players share the spotlight and just make sure everyone's having fun. There is one more thing. If you're a player online, you tend to have to. It feels like you have to fight a little bit more to have your voice heard or to be able to speak up. So as long as you keep that in mind and the group knows this, they can kind of work towards that goal. Well, what do you think? What's your opinion on that? You haven't said anything in a while. What are you doing? I think as long as the group kind of works together, the GM works with the players, I think it could work very well. Combats actually seem to work even better than just normal role playing, outside of combat, because everybody has a turn, and when there's one person speaking and everyone else is listening, the audio seems to be much clearer and much more easier to understand. So Skype gaming, it has some problems. Mumble is another option that was mentioned. A few people have mentioned play-by-post games, even though they're slow, and instant messenger games where just everyone logs into a sort of impromptu like chat room sort of thing. Haven't done one of those yet, but I know they can be fun as well. So, all right, guys, have a good one. I'll talk to you later.